Okay, let's analyze all of our equations. What is one equation from the 7 given that is different than the rest of them? There's one. Number one. So number one, we have sine of x. Let's go ahead and in general write out, or not write out, graph what the sine looks like. It is a wave. And there's one from the choices provided on the graph. That's got a sine wave. And which one would that be? H. So if you want to kind of mimic the sine wave on here, go for it. So we know H is gone. Let's take it. And then for the rest of them, I'm going to give you a trick that's going to work out every single time. Okay? Let's start by... Oh, actually, I want to do number 7 and then give you the trick. Do y'all remember the formula of a circle that we did on 6.1 day 1 possibly? It was a question like this. And when we solved for y, it was x squared plus y squared is equal to the r squared. So if you ever see negative x over y, this is always, always, always a circle. It has to be the negative with the x on the top, y on the bottom. Nothing else can be altered. So now looking at our slope field, which one is going to give us a circle? B. Let's cross that out. So I'm going to repeat that one more time. The circle is always a negative with the x on the top, y on the bottom. Got it? Okay? So for number 2, and actually before we go on to number 2, let's go ahead and look at all the slope field and emphasize the horizontal slope, which means our slope is equal to 0. It looks like letter D does not have a horizontal, but what can we predict? Maybe it is on the x-axis. And then we have, for the E, it's going through x equals 0. F looks like y equals x. And G is some positive number of y equals. So let's go on to number 2 real quick. If my goal is to get 0, since we're mainly looking at horizontal slope, so I want my slope to equal 0, then my x has to be the same number minus another same number. Would you agree that's going to give us 0? Same number minus same number is 0. So looking at that, which is going to satisfy it? Same number times same number must equal 0. F, if I look at F, isn't this basically the graph of y equals x? Then that means whatever the y is, it is the same with the x. So yes, it is F. Very good. So let's cross that off. Okay, on number 2, my goal is to make this slope into a 0. So what must be my y then? 2. So I'm looking for y equals 2. Which one has y is equal to 2? G, do we agree on that? Okay. G. And then for number 4, there's really not an operation. I need x to equal what? 0. Which slope, horizontal slope, has x equals 0 all the way through? D. Is it D? All right, here we go. On D, my horizontal slope, isn't that at y equals 0? On E, all of my horizontal slope of 0 is at x equals what? 0. So we know number 4 has to go with E. So be really careful with your horizontal and vertical line. I know it's easy to get mixed up, okay? So E is gone. Let's move on to number 5. What must the x equal in here for all of that to equal 0? 2. X equals 2. Which one has x equals 2? A. So let's cross that off. For number 6, what number do I need on my y to have all that equal to 0? 0. So y must equal 0. And which one has y equals 0? Did we say D or E? D.